days in Aruba. Of course I was scared. Of course I was scared. It was my first time entering the water to rescue a whale.
It was supposed to just be a magical wedding day at a beach house in Lima, Peru, for Elena and Eric. The bride ended up having to share the spotlight with her brother Louis, since he decided to jump in the water a few minutes before her wedding to save a whale. Let's back up a minute. A wedding ceremony for about 80 guests was set up, but then...
And out of nowhere, we see a whale swimming really close in front of the house. And we saw some kayakers from the condo, from the house next to us, swimming behind it. So I decided to grab the board and go swim towards the whale. Once I got so close, I realized that the whale was entangled with this ghost net. And I realized that it didn't have my knife. And it felt very weak, I couldn't do anything. I started actually to cry in the water, because I saw the whale had a net on the tail that she was dragging. You guys can see it in the video. She had a net entangled in the surface of her face as well. And I didn't have the knife, so I swam back home, totally useless, crying with my dad, telling him about the whale, how I always have a knife, how could I do not have a knife?
The experienced professional dive instructor was devastated because he thought he missed his chance to help out the mammal. But then it was almost like the whale knew someone wanted to help her, because 2 hours later, she returned.
And my uncle told me, dude, the whale that you told me that you saw with the net is right in front of the house. And I swear to God, we were all getting ready. It was 30 minutes before the hour where we had to go to the beach for the ceremony, and I decided to grab the board, grab my diving knife, and jump into the water. Started swimming to the whale. Started swimming. At one point, I thought I was not gonna reach it at one point, but he turned around. He turned around and let me reach it, and that's when I first caught the tail, and I got to cut the net from the tail of the whale. I get a little bit emotional still when I think about it. And I cut the net from the tail, and I thought that was it. Then the kayakers came by and reminded me of the net from the front. And I swam back to the whale. I was lucky enough that the whale, as a mammal, they have that cell, that empathy cell that we have as well. Somehow he knew that we were trying to help her, or him. And she relaxed a little bit, let us cut a little bit of the net on the side. You can see how the whale pushed me down a little bit. Then we restarted. She calmed herself down. I grab a hold from the tail, climb from the tail, grab the small crest right above the tail, keep climbing a little bit more until I got to the middle crest on the higher part of the back. And I remember having the breathing hole right underneath me, and it goes right into my face. And you can see right in the video that I'm on top, and I'm cutting, and I'm cutting, and I'm cutting, and I'm cutting. And the whale had these big barnacles with the net attached, and I was cutting, and the barnacles, I got caught by barnacles in my hand. Somehow, we got all the net out, and the whale swam down, loosened up. We got all the net out, and the whale was right there saying thank you. We could see all the noses, all the breathing happening right in front of us, right 5 minutes before the wedding. The cool part is that my brother-in-law, who was getting married to my sister, who's a Aruban, fully breed Aruban, said, I'm jumping in with my brother, and grabbed the green kayak and swam towards me to help me out. At one point, the whale pushes me down, and you can see my hand go like this. Eric, come over here. And you can see Eric with the kayak. Help me out. He jumped in the water as well, caught a little bit of the net. It was really, really, really beautiful what happened. We were lucky enough that none of us was endangered, you know.
It is important to emphasize that Louis is a certified professional scuba diving instructor. He works in the ocean every day with Aruba, Bob, Snorkel, and Scuba. Louis understood his capabilities and limits and only decided to jump in the water to help the whale because he has a good understanding of the ocean and his capabilities underwater. What Louis did is beautiful, but it is also very dangerous. Louis is a professional and has a deep understanding of how the ocean works.
Of course I was scared. Of course I was scared. There was no doubt that I was scared. But that's where the training comes in, the breathing control, understanding your limits. Understanding your limits is the most important thing. It was my first time entering the water to rescue a whale. I just knew what I didn't want to happen. And that was to get caught in the net and to get hit by a fin or the tail. Because it's a huge mammal, and it's like a small car hitting you. Even though it's super slow, the minute it hits you, it could burst all your organs in the inside.
Louis was fully aware of the risk and proceeded cautiously.
I thought it was my duty as an ocean advocate to try to do my best without putting my life in danger. That's where the training comes in. First thing I thought was this whale needs help. This whale needs help, and I need to at least try to do the best I can without endangering my life. I just had a daughter. I had a 3-month daughter, right?
This Aruban is certainly not boastful for what he did. At the end of the day, he simply thinks he did his part to help out something that he loves, and that's the ocean.
I definitely feel grateful. I definitely feel grateful. My dad feels proud. My father feels proud. My family feels proud. I feel grateful enough to have the opportunity to have jumped in the water with such a great animal. Grateful for the opportunity to liberate him from an entangled situation. Grateful to share the story with the Peruvian nation and my Aruban nation. Grateful to share the training that anybody can have to help out in any situation.
I think we can all agree that it is certainly a great story to tell for a lifetime.
This one is insane. This one is my favorite, definitely. On top of the whale, cutting away. That's literally on top of the whale. I hope there's more shots. And then I went down. You can see the nose, but you can see the whale right there. My head right over there, on top of the whale on the side. That's me on top of it. Cutting the net. It goes down, it pushes me down. I'm right there. It goes down and you can see me, I'm down there. Look at my hand. Come, get me. And you can see, oh my God, that was insane.
We may not be capable of doing something as extreme as jumping on the back of a whale to cut off a net, but Louis says there are so many things we can do as the human population to help out our ocean every day.
Never in for it to go viral, but since it definitely touched a lot of people, I was like, you know what, let's use this to create conscience when we go to the ocean, when we go to the beach, to even help in the small things, you know, like picking up trash that you didn't put there, you know, walking with a garbage bag, having a garbage bag in your car. If you see something on the beach, in the road, picking it up. So it started making sense.
What an incredible story. Special thank you to Adriana Samanes for the rescue footage. For more celebratory content on Aruba, make sure to follow Our Home, Your Holiday on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Covering Aruba's celebratory stories, I'm Yentelu.